This would have saved me 10 years. What I'm about to tell you is what I would tell my younger self at 20 years old. I am 30 now, of how to get to where I am, which is in a really, really good place in 1 to 2 years. This is absolute no BS, just straight to the point of exactly what I would do. It's taken me 10 years to get to where I am, and it shouldn't have taken that long, but the reason is because I totally messed about, got caught up in bad habits along the journey. But I mean, hey, no one's perfect, and it's all a part of the journey. So what I'm gonna say to you is who I am now, my name's Hayden, I'm 30 years old. I've been building online businesses, traveling the world for the last 5 years, living in luxury, having lots of time freedom, being able to spend time with family, friends, go surfing, skydiving, and just like live this life that I once dreamt of. The funny thing is I still feel like I'm nowhere near where I want to be. Compared to 10 years ago, when I was 20 years old, I was completely lost, addicted, going out, partying, escaping all the time. Just was completely lost, absolute lost cause, no confidence, really insecure, full of shame, full of doubt, always scrolling, everything, every little bad thing that you can think of, junk food, porn, drinking alcohol, taking drugs, partying, like all of that, all the bad things. That was once who I was. Now, everything I'm about to tell you now is within the last 10 years. If I was to have 10 years back, if I was to go back in 10 years, this is exactly how I would do it. Number one, make health your number one priority. Health is non-negotiable. That just doesn't mean going to the gym 4 or 5 days a week, lifting heavy weights. It's much more than that. Health means drinking enough water, really taking your sleep seriously, making sure that you're getting a proper 8 hours of sleep every single night, waking up in the morning, doing 10 minutes of morning sunlight. Health is not just physical exercise. Don't get me wrong, that is very, very important, but health is much, much bigger. It's what creates your whole energy. It's what shifts everything. You could train 5 days a week and still eat like absolute shit, and you will feel like shit. Matter of fact, nutrition is more important than training hard. But you can't miss a piece. That's what I've learned. You need to make health your number one priority. You need to cover all areas of health. And that is going to set you up, because when you're feeling good and you feel good about yourself, your situation, we're all going to have difficult times in our life. It just happens. Everyone does. No one has a perfect run. Now, when you're faced with difficult times and you've got your health in order, it makes it very easy to overcome these things. That's why nothing is really that big of an issue until you actually do have a health issue or, lose a loved one or something like that. They're actually the significant things that happen in our lives that, can really, really pull us back. So health is the number one priority. Always having that in order, and you're going to be able to tackle all these small problems that come your way. Your anxiety is going to decrease. You're going to feel so much better about yourself. And when your self-esteem comes up, it's going to allow you to get much more done. And you need to understand self-esteem is self-esteem. And what I mean by that is nobody can give you that esteem. You can't go seek validation and, trying to get all comments and stuff like that. It's all false. The only person that can actually give you proper self-esteem is you. And in order to do that, you need to actually keep the promises that you make to yourself. And obviously health, making that a number one priority, and your self-esteem will actually really increase. Health is number one thing. Second thing is pick your mission and pick a worthwhile goal to pursue. It could be in business. It could be an athletic goal. It could be something that you're really passionate about, like, becoming the world's best chess player or something like that. Every man needs their mission. And it could be starting a business, whatever it is. You need to pick something, and it needs to be worthwhile. Now, one thing, don't just do it for the money. I've gone down, this is one of the mistakes I've made, just doing things for the money, and it's absolute BS. Yes, you can make great money, and great money will make your life easier, but if you have to do that thing day in and day out, and it's taking up a lot of your time, you'll become miserable. That's what happened with me. I had a marketing agency, I was miserable, I didn't like it, was making great money, but it completely threw me off. I thought, I do not want to be doing this for the next 10 years, no matter how much money someone offers me. So, and pick a worthwhile goal, and in order to pick a worthwhile goal, you want to actually focus on having a positive impact in this world. Truly, what I think is what's the most meaningful and fulfilling. If you can pick some sort of goal that's not only going to benefit you, but it's going to benefit the people around you, and it's also going to, maybe able to solve a problem for someone or just make the world a better place, whether it's like putting clean water in places or something like that, that's fantastic because your vision is now much bigger than you. So the number two thing is pick a mission and a vision that is much, much bigger than you. Because if you only do it for yourself, there's a good chance you will quit, because when times get tough, for some reason, we don't do a lot of stuff for ourselves. But when there's a much bigger picture involved and the vision's much, much bigger, it's going to really, really propel you forward, okay? Now, what number three would be, learn how to be a good communicator. Extremely important. I used to be extremely introverted, and I just would always avoid conversations. So going into the gyms, I would avoid people. Sometimes I still do, actually. I am still a bit of an introvert. I'm introvert and extroverted. But anyway, what I've learned is to actually communicate with people and not to always have all the attention on yourself, because that's what actually makes you really insecure. I used to think so much about myself when I was in conversations, how I'm being perceived. You know, is this person going to like me? Are they going to accept me? And it's like all the attention's on me, and it just creates so much internal pressure that I struggle to even connect with people. I've learned how to overcome that by now I don't even put any attention on me when I'm in these conversations. I fully focus on that person. And things that I'm saying to myself when I'm speaking to this person is like, you know, I wonder what their story is. I wonder what motivates them. I wonder why they feel like that. You know, or what a special person. This person's overcome this. And it's like, you want to be like really, really curious about people, because everyone has got a bit of magic. You don't want to ever think that you're too good for somebody, because it's a total BS. Everyone's got different strengths. Everyone's got different weaknesses, and you can learn from absolutely everybody. So number three for me would be a master communicator. Stay curious, don't have an ego, and you'll notice that you'll start to feel way better, because there's just something that as a human being, we're made for connection. We're made for others. And you know, if you feel isolated, or you know, if you start to isolate yourself, you start to feel lonely, then you start to feel depressed. It's because we're made for each other. We're made for connection. So learn how to be a master communicator, and that will significantly not only improve your life, but it'll probably also improve your income, your relationships, and everything else. The next thing would be is not to spend too much money on stupid shit. So for me, I've blown way too much money on crazy experiences, and I wouldn't take any of them back, to be honest. Experiences are great. It's the materialistic things that is a big no-no when you're first starting out. Yeah, if you need like some, you know, real Gucci bag or shirt to impress somebody, it's a total bunch of bullshit. That's just your insecurities. You need to overcome that. If you've blown money on a fantastic holiday and you had a fantastic time with your friends, I am not going to argue with that whatsoever. Experiences is what this life's about. Your whole life is one experience. Make it the best experience possible. But don't go just, you know, spending money on stupid shit just to try and impress other people that may not even be impressed by you. It's just a waste of time. It's stupid. And yeah, I've been in that position, and yeah, just don't do it. Don't waste your time. Another thing that I'd say to my younger self is believe in yourself, and know that all the thoughts that you've had, all the shame, all the guilt, all of that stuff is a total lie. You're running on autopilot, and it's really hard because some people, they're so stuck in their habitual thinking where you don't really know how to create another story or another narrative for yourself. Everyone's running on a story. Right now, I'm subconsciously running on a story. I'm constantly trying to improve that so I can get to new levels. You need to get rid of the story that you're telling yourself. I always had so much shame, so much doubt. I wouldn't even start things because I was so scared of failing and just looking embarrassed, looking weak. And it just really, it made me feel really stuck. And I didn't really know how to get out of it. So how I did get out of it, actually, to tie into that, is 10 minutes of mindfulness meditation every morning. That actually changed my life. When I was trying to meditate, I thought that it was just all this woohoo type of thing, and it's just not that beneficial. I tried closing my eyes for 10 minutes every day, and I was getting so frustrated. And I said to a mate, this is a bunch of bullshit. This does not work. And he said, look, you need meditation the most. He said, if you can't sit still for 10 minutes and you think it doesn't work, you need it more than anybody. Took that piece of feedback on board, chose to stay consistent with it. I was totally blown away, because what happens when you do mindfulness meditation is you start to watch your thoughts, and you realize that your thoughts are not actually you. You have some of these bullshit thoughts that someone programmed into you once upon a time, and they just kind of come floating into your headspace. And if you choose not to identify with them, then you start to really get this power, and you really can start to understand that you are the creator of your own story. you know? So it's like, that's where the power comes from. So I would have said to my younger self, do not doubt yourself, believe in yourself, because don't rely on other people to believe in you. You need to believe in you. Friends are good, family is good, but it's like there needs to be a point where you say, this story or this programming I'm running on is a total bunch of fucking bullshit and I'm going to change it, okay? One of the other major things I would say is just cut out all the bad stuff, okay? So figure out what your distractions and your bad habits are, because we've all got them. We live in such a distracted world now where we're checking our phones so much. You know, whether it's smoking cigarettes, smoking vapes, you know, drinking alcohol, taking drugs, trying to escape, you know, watching porn, chasing girls, everything. There's so many distractions in this day and age. I've gone through them all. Matter of fact, when I actually got out of the addiction vortex of drinking, you know, smoking and partying, which I was escaping all the time, I completely sobered up, and then I started going on a crazy amount of dates. And I was dating about 4 or 5 times a week with different ladies. And I thought I was the man. I thought I was the man because I was getting so much attention. I wasn't drinking on any of these dates. I thought, you know, I just thought that I just had kind of, you know, made it in some type of way. And then I just realized that was actually, I was being such a piece of shit. So don't get me wrong, if you want to choose to go down that path, that's totally fine. But I realized that after, you know, turning to God, and having a much stronger belief in, you know, a much bigger vision than myself, it's a very small way to play life. When you go down that way, it's full of distractions. You're actually probably escaping something, and you're probably seeking validation. And yeah, no matter how many ladies you have, no matter how many nights you go out, your soul's going to still feel empty. You need to really start to pick something meaningful. And the way to do it is just to be honest with yourself. This is the number one reason to get honest. Like, I've been in that position. I've done so much shit that, you know, in people's wildest dreams, they would have never done it. And I've already experienced it. I've learned how to eliminate those problems and be this sober, well-driven, you know, authentic man that, you know, wants the best, not only for himself, but his family and everybody around him. And the way to do that is I just keep cutting distractions. And once again, it shouldn't have took me 10 years. So if you can just write a big list of all your distractions right now, whether it's scrolling, whether it's drinking, whatever it is, get brutally honest with yourself. No one's coming to save you. You need to understand that. No one is coming to save you. People will say, yeah, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't do this, but no one actually gives a shit about you or your experience. Like I do, I generally care, but I can't meet everybody and try and help everybody one-on-one as much as I would love to. It's just not possible. And that's the thing. You need to understand that everybody is totally self-absorbed in their own experience. You will watch this video, then after this video, you'll probably start to think about what you're going to eat for dinner next or what you're going to have for breakfast, and then it will all be back to you and your life, and it will be back with you and yourself again. That's why you need to get out these bad habits, cultivate a good relationship with yourself, treat yourself as like a king or a queen, like, you know, be very, very kind and compassionate towards yourself, because it's going to drive you so much further. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that I could get into, but honestly, if you just focus on these things that I've mentioned, like I've just said this off the top of my head, because that to me is probably like the most important things I've got to where I am. And the biggest thing as well is just don't give up. You know, you're going to have doubts along the way, but if that vision's big enough, then you won't give up. If you want to jump on a call with me and you want to chat further about advice on how to stay on track, change your identity, shift into this, you know, much better man or woman version of yourself and have way more energy and be able to align with what you want, then book a call with me below and I'll definitely be able to help you. Otherwise, leave a comment below of what your favorite part of this video was, or if there's anything else that really, really has helped you, because that also might help anyone else that's watching this video.